Oregon Farm Bureau Facebook page, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Ask Wendy if she wants the video.
No. Douglas County Farm Bureau. Yeah. Yes. Douglas County Farm Bureau.
Good morning. Welcome to the Douglas County Fairgrounds, and this is your national sheep shearing competition. The first shows, big round of applause. Sorry I got here a few minutes late, but I didn't expect the crowd that we had. This is wonderful to see this many shearers and this many fans come out here. How you doing, Doug? Nice to see you. Anyway, the first contest this morning and through tomorrow will determine who's going to go and represent the United States in world competition. I don't remember where that is. Mike? New Zealand? It's going to be in New Zealand this year. So this is a big deal for the United States. Because if you take the amount of people in the United States that are involved in agriculture in any one way, it's less than 1% of the population. Now take that and decide how many sheep shearers is out there. Very, very small percentage. And I will tell you this, it's an extremely small world. John Beach is around here someplace. I'm over in Scotland. John Beach tells me, he says, if you want to go shear and shear against the world, you go to Loch Erinhead, Scotland. So I planned a trip in 2013, went out there and sheared at Loch Erinhead. I did not take last, but I was race level. You know, you can't get there and shear against their sheep if you don't have any experience with them. But I'm talking with the guy at the Scottish Wool Board, and he recognizes my accent, which I didn't think I had, in Scotland. And he says, where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm California. He says, well, I know some California shearers around the Bay Area. I go, well, tell me who they are. He says, how about John Beach? I says, John Beach is the reason I'm here. It's an extremely small world. I'm 5,000 miles away, and I know somebody that knows one of the other shearers I know. I've seen Ian McKenzie, Ian over here. Ian, I met him up at a ranch up in extreme northeastern California. I was taking my stuff out of the back. I was going to go shear with somebody in the Winnemucca, and I'm taking my stuff out of the back of the truck because I don't want to get stolen because I'm going to go down and find food. He goes, I know what that's for. And I went, oh my God, you must be a sheep shearer. And here's Ian, somebody I've known for years too, just being able to recognize somebody. So anyway, welcome, very much welcome. So, this morning as we start, all right, your job as the audience is to clap and yell as loud as you can. You are not to just sit there. Because normally what happens is as soon as they drag the sheep out, there's going to be a big round of applause, and then everybody goes silent. And they go silent because the skill at which these, even the beginners start out as, shearing is one of the hardest jobs in the world. It really is. Extremely taxing on your body. You eat up calories all day long. And to find somebody that can go through maybe only 20 a day, or maybe only 30 a day, or maybe only 10, is a wonderful thing. So please put your hands together for them when they come out to shoot. Okay? Thank you.
As we do a little maintenance on our board here right before, we're going to have the national anthem sung to us by Miss Hannah Quimby. Thank you very much. Hannah Quimby is going to sing our national anthem. Sheep shearer's daughter right here bringing it to us. Everybody stand in a room cover, please. Thank you.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Hannah. Sure appreciate that. I know you didn't get that voice from John. All right, Gary, we ready to announce our first heat of beginner shears? All the judges to the stand, please.
All the judges up. As you can see by the front of the shearing field, there's a lot of sponsors here. I will get to just as soon as we can kind of get this contest up. We don't want to forget those. You sponsors are the reason we do this. It's a lot of work. I think I talked to Chad the other day. He said they had to go through like over 400 sheep to put this thing together. So the sponsors are very much appreciated. Thank you. What are we going to do? Shear one, make sure everybody's on board. Right? Done that. They're going to load the pens this morning. We put them in 1, 2.
One sheep.
One sheep Matt. I met Matt. It's been a long time, about 25 years ago. I went out to, I had a young friend that I learned to shear with. He was there a lot. And Matt was her roommate in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went out to Stillwater, I think. And then we traveled to Tulsa for the shearing competition there.
Back in the day when Charlie Swain used to run.
Charlie Swain used to run the right, right. So, it was really nice to see Matt. I had to look at it. up to my, okay, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, it's fun to be here. I went over and stayed with, how many of you know Mike McWilliam? Raise your hand, or did know Mike McWilliam? Sure you did. So his family will be here tomorrow morning, starting at 11 o'clock. I like to call this the McWilliam Classic. Yes, this is the Memorial Shearing competition in Mike's name. Wonderful, wonderful shearer. Mac?
Why don't you talk to him a little bit about how a shearing contest is judged?
Okay, so let's talk about shearing contests. How many have been to a shearing contest before? A few. Okay, for those of you that have not been here, we'll go over how the scoring is. They're going to have 4 timers up here, and you receive 1 point for every 20 seconds that you shear. And that starts at go and ends when you shut the machine off, put the sheet back. Okay? You get 1 point for every ridge of wool. Let's say it's the size of a big pen, about 8 inches by about 3/8 to a ½ an inch tall. If you don't shear it cleanly and you go ahead and you take that ridge of wool off, that's called a second cut. Second cuts are the bane of the industry. We want wool that's all 2.5 or all 3 or all 5 inches. That second cut goes in the clip. It's hard to get out. So when you're running it through the machine, you want something that's all of the same average fiber length so that it will spin that into a nice piece of yarn, right? So, second cut wool. So this is all about cleanliness and performance. So, 1 point for every second cut that you take off. We're going to have 5 judges up there. The reason we have 5 judges is about half a sheet through, they're going to change and rotate. So if you've got one judge that's pretty critical, he or she is going to be critical up and down the line. Okay, second cuts. Any skin cut. Now all the judges on the board are getting is second cuts when you're shearing. When the sheep go out back, they are also scored. Any cut on the animal the size of a thumbnail is 1 point. Okay? Any ridge of wool left on the size of a big man is 1 point. So you can imagine leaving a 3/8 or a 3/4 strip 10 or 12 inches long, you're going to get 3 or 4 points for that. That goes out back. We take and total all those points up, including the time points, and score the individual. Now, imagine going as fast as you can and you do a second cut, right? That ridge of wool that we're going to take off. If you would slow down, it's going to take you a lot less than 20 seconds to shear that one deal. So in the first heats, you want to shear cleanly. That's how this is done. The cleaner you shear, the higher you score. Time is not that big. Once we get into the finals, yes, then it becomes, because you're going to have 4 guys up there shearing. I think we're going to have 15 or 20 head final tomorrow. And those guys have to go. So then it's, I hate to say it, it's balls out. We're going to go just as fast as you can. And that's up to you guys. You want them to go faster? You yell and scream faster. If you don't know somebody, pick somebody out and cheer for them. There's a lot of us here from out of town, so please help us out, okay? Your turn, Matt.
Yeah, this is an international contest. We've got some Australians here. We've got contestants from all over the United States. Happy to be here at the Mike McWilliam Memorial Sheep Shearing Contest and the U.S. Sheep Shearing Championships. Are we about ready to start our first heat of beginners? All right, timers ready, judges ready. All right, we need from Gustine, California, Juan Cornejo. And if I mispronounce any names, Gary, and I mispronounce any names, somebody come up and correct us, and we'll get it right going forward. Go ahead, Juan. And from Harlan, Vermont, Leslie Sullivan. All right, our first heat of beginner shearers right here. What is a beginner, Gary?
Normally they have not sheared, or let's say their long day is probably less than 50. So they're just starting out. It's probably their first year, maybe their second year in shearing. They do a lot of small flock shearing. And again, this is the hardest job in the world, so for them to be bent over and even just shear one, and do it right? There's a whole pattern to this. It's a pretty amazing feat. I can remember 35 years ago, shearing in this barn. It was my first shearing contest. And yes, I am nervous, okay? And the first thing you do is you pull that sheep out, and the nerves get to you, and then you quit breathing. Well, you can't quit breathing. You have to breathe through this. You won't get through it.
Gary, as we get going here, I think we should recognize the Douglas County Farm Bureau who's put this event on and helped us out today. We are live streaming up there, going to the Douglas County Farm Bureau Facebook page. So they're going to make you famous there. And I've got Matt here making a video about shearing. So we'll see that at the Cannes Film Festival sometime in the future, right, Matt? All right, he says yes, we will. As we're getting ready, getting some of the bugs worked out, these shearers are getting ready, taking a look at their sheep. Talk about the sheep that are going to get shorn today, these course we'll use, Gary.
So, as you can see, the two shearing machines on each end, we run a set of straight shafts, or we call cripple shaft or a drop. The two in the middle, they're using a flexi drop. I don't like a flexi drop. They always seem heavy to me. Everybody has their own what they really like, so we're going to give that to them and help them along. It doesn't really matter, it's still shearing. Okay. Shearers ready? Are the timers ready? Who's the timers today? 3 ladies up there, or 2 ladies up there, okay? Judges ready? We're going to have 3 judges rotating, or maybe 4 or 5 of you. How many judges? Okay, that judge is ready. Shearers ready? Looks like it. All right, remember, put your hands together for them. All right, on your mark, get set, go. They're going to grab that sheep. They have to set it up. They're going to set it up on their right hip, normally. I will tell you this, the Mexicans shear a little different. Most of us were taught the New Zealand pattern. New Zealand pattern was developed actually by a gentleman by the name of Godfrey Bowen. I'm trying to think his brother's name. Ivan? Anyway, the Bowen brothers. And the Bowen brothers, the gentleman who developed this, wasn't much of a showman. So Godfrey took it over. And this is back in the 1920s, 1930s, and really developed this into an art form. So, into that first tip. Leslie's into that first tip. Take that first tip off. And we make them take the belly wool off first. The belly wool has a lot of vegetable matter in it. So that's going to get taken off, thrown out of the main fleece. Again, we're trying to do this as a quality thing. Leslie's going up the, what we call the undermine.
And Juan's doing a good job coming up that second side, starting into that second shoulder. Very clean job from both these sheep shearers. Right, Gary?
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Remember, they're beginners. They haven't done this, or they haven't done a lot of contest shearing, you know. And again, this is mostly about cleanliness at this point. Trying to stand out of the way over here.
As one comes into that last hip, he's just got a few blows left to go to turn that sheep loose out the portal. Leslie sheep giving her a couple kicks giving her just a little bit of trouble, but these sheep have been stood for a little bit for 12 to 24 hours to get them emptied out. We don't want these sheep to have a full belly.
Nice job, Ron. Okay, so now Leslie knows that she can't beat Juan in time. That's okay. Now her job is to shear as clean as possible because it isn't the person that gets done first. Remember, this is all about quality to start off with. Imagine standing up there, shearing, knowing that your opponent is done, and you have to shear clean, so no mistakes. It takes approximately 42 to 46 blows to shear a sheep, and the better you get, the less blows you actually put in.
And she's coming down the money side of the sheep there in the last dip. Go ahead and give her a round of applause and some hoots and hollers and bring her home.
Going out that last side, notice how Leslie is bent way over. Nice job. Good job, Leslie. Let's throw it right out in front here. We'll throw it right out in front. The bellies and the tags we'll throw out in front and click them up differently.
Judges, please bring the counters up to the clerk's table. Judges, please bring those counters up to the clerk's table, please, so we can get those scores done. And make sure we know which counter goes with which shearer.
Yes, that's extremely important. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Anderson Sheep Company, Briggs Trucking and Excavation, Coastal Farm and Ranch, DB Pro Audio, Douglas County Fairgrounds, of course, and the Douglas County Farm Bureau for helping us out, Douglas County Livestock Association, Amy Livestock, get this down from the Rio Vista area, Ron and Bernice Support, Keys International, Tanya McWilliam and the McWilliam family, Oregon Farm Bureau, Oregon Sheep Growers Association, Peterson Cat, Premier One Shearing Supplies, Shanico Wool, Stockwhip from Tony Wutzke, Uncle Valley Tractor, CT Rocks Incorporated, 4125 Stella, and 4Q Timber. Thank you so much for helping us out.
All right, as we get the pins loaded, I'll introduce our shearers here. On stand number 1, starting on the left, we'll number these stands 1 through 4 from left to right. On stand number 1 from Laverne, Minnesota, give it up for Tristan Heron. Coming at you from Lincoln, Arkansas, on stand number 2, Lindy Phillips. On stand number 3, from Highland, New York, Eloise Winter. And on stand number 4, he's your hometown boy from Dixonville, Glide FFA member, Mr. Aiden Murphy. It takes a village to run these shearing contests. We need folks in the back pens helping catch sheep. We need folks up there pushing sheep through the pens. We need folks in those portal pens, those release pens that are catching those sheep, making sure they're not coming back out on us. We sure appreciate all the helpers, all the volunteers, everybody that it takes to put this contest together. We are very excited to have the U.S. Sheep Shearing Championships here in Oregon. I don't think the U.S. Championships have ever been in Oregon. I think this is the first time to hold these championships in Oregon. I think the last time they were on the West Coast even was in California 20 years ago or so, wasn't it?
It was at the California State Fair, and I think we sent Mike McWilliam and Randy Helms. So yeah, 20 years is a long time. I know it's been in, I think they had it in Minnesota. They've had it all over the states, but this is really a special thing.
Especially to have it here in Douglas County, when used to be the number one sheep county in the state of Oregon, kind of back in the day. Not quite the numbers that we used to have, but a very, very big enterprise here in this county.
All right. We have the timers.
All right, one timer left to get set and down, and I think we're ready to count it off.
Okay, and we'll let Mac, you go ahead and introduce everybody. We're going to start down at stand one.
Yeah, we got that covered. Everybody's been announced, and we are ready to go.
Okay. Is the crowd ready? All right. Timers ready. Board judges ready. Shearers ready. On your mark, get set, go. Drag that sheep out, set it up on its right hip. There's 3 or 4 belly blows, and they have to throw that belly out. The reason we do that, it's got all the vegetable matter in it. We don't want that vegetable matter in the normal clip, so we're going to throw that out. If they don't have a belly, some of these won't have very much of a belly, but we got to throw that out. First blow, top tooth into that armpit, down the side, 3 or 4 blows out the belly to clean it. And then they'll step up with that right foot. So if you can imagine, how many of you know how to square dance here? Bunch? Few. Doug does. This is like dancing with sheep. Except when you're dancing, normally your partner follows you. Those sheep don't want to follow you. So you have to manhandle a little bit. And like Max said, we take them off of feed and water for at least 12 hours to empty their gut. Imagine getting up from Thanksgiving dinner with a full belly of food. That's how those sheep are all the time. So we take them off so that, for 2 reasons. 1, to make them a little more amenable to shearing, and 2, so that we don't harm them, because you can push enough pressure on them to shove that gut up into the lungs. Imagine they fight not because of the full gut, they fight because they can't get any air. And Lindy Phillips up the neck on stand 2. Mac, who was the guy on the end from
Stand 4, Aiden Murphy, already into that first shoulder.
Yep, into that first shoulder. Yeah, the crowd's kind of dying off. Come on, put your hands together. And Libby's into that first shoulder. Aiden's into that, what we call the long blows. To get through that first shoulder, there's 3 or 4 short blows we'll step over. And then we've got 3 long blows. Normally, we regulate ourselves as shearers to get 1 shearing whip of that comb over the backbone so that we can position that animal correctly, going down what we call the last side.
Tristan Heron on stand 1, giving Aiden a run for his money. He's onto that second shoulder on that second side of the sheep.
And going out that, what we call the last side, that last shoulder and last side.
And Lindy Phillips moving to the last side of the sheep, looking good. Eloise Winter working on those long blows. She's just about ready to turn the corner.
Lindy turned the corner, going out that last side. Sheep do not like to have their legs touched. They don't like to have their ears touched. So when you're a beginner shearer, those legs look like handles. Well, you got to get around that and you can't be grabbing them. So you'll notice that they're controlling them mostly with their legs. Yeah, every once in a while we'll pick a leg up. We're not holding on, especially the lower hock of their feet. They don't like that. Lindy just popped that sheep out to make that sheep more comfortable. She's going out that last hip. Eloise going out last side into that last hip. Aiden going into that last hip.
With Tristan and Aiden.
Or Tristan, I'm sorry. Tristan going.
Looks like Wendy Phillips could go ahead and put the first sheep out the portal here in heat number 2.
Lindy's got 1 or 2 blows to go. And she's done.
Give her a hand, folks, please.
Eloise going out that last hip. There you go. Eloise is done. Aiden's done. Kristen's done. Nice job.
Let's give a big hand
Nice
to
job,
beginner shearers here. Thank you.
Remember, these are beginner shearers. What'd that take? Approximately how long? Timers? 4 minutes? About 4 minutes. When we get the professionals up there, they're going to be putting a sheep out about every minute and a half to a minute and 40 seconds. The speed really comes up. So, how many, one person, this is world record, how many sheep can one guy, one person, I'm not going to say guy or female now, one person can do in 9 hours of shearing? Think about how many, of course everybody's got a phone, they're going to go look it up, right? Don't do that. One is a man. It was done the first time in the Northern Hemisphere, done in England. Over a 9-hour day, they start at 5 in the morning. They have a run of 2 hours. They have a 45-minute break, and the rest of the runs are 1 hour and 3/4. So we're going to get food and a little rest in there and change your shirt because you're going to be soaking wet with sweat. How many can one guy do in a 9-hour day? Raise your hands. Yell. How many? 500. Nope, you're way low. Well, that's a little high. How many? 1? 2? No, more than 2. 735 head. The gentleman quit like 25 or 30 minutes early. And I asked a good friend of mine, Randy Helms, I'm sure you know, some of you know Randy. I asked Randy, I says, why did he do that? He says he did that because he wants to break the record again. The year previous, he tried for the record, and he knew going down the last run he wasn't going to make it, right? Okay, fine, we're just going to shear. That year, when he'd go out and have a hard day shearing, they would test his blood. The first year he tried it, he lost 13 pounds that day, okay? A lot of that's water, yes, but he lost 13 pounds. So they test his blood. They'd find out what nutrients were missing, and then they supplemented him the next year in the same event. He lost 3 pounds. So the new chemistry, the new way we do things, AI and all that, it's helping all of us, trust me. And he put out 735 head. So if you take your phone and kind of parrot that out, it's like 40 or 42 seconds an animal. That's amazing. And that comes, and you can't have them out on the board. They have a guy in the pen holding the sheep, it's all he can do, and he has to turn that machine off and on every time because that's a safety thing with us. Once you put a sheep out through the portal and go get the next one, you have to have that machine shut off. If you don't, it's going to roll around on the board, and let me tell you, it's very sharp. Most of the shearers know you're going to get cut shearing. We've all done it. Seems to me I always catch this finger right here, and it's a little V undone. Yeah, it gets shorter. So, A little dangerous? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We make them use a 13-tooth comb. We do have 12s. We don't let them use that. We do have 9-tooth combs. We use a 9-tooth for what we call cover during the winter or cold weather shearing. That leaves a little bit longer wool on them when we shear. Kind of bends the wool over before it shears it off. And it's easier to push because there's only 9 teeth in there. The 13-tooth comb with a heavily wooled animal, you have to push. Your wrist gets sore by the end of the day. As I go along, either Mac or I, if you've got a question, raise your hand. I'll see if I can answer it. There might be some things I don't know about the shearing thing. I've been doing this for like 35 years. I started out because I got my daughter into 4-H, and she raised 4-H lambs. And I saw a guy shear and we did it in February. The next year I asked him to teach me how. 15 minutes later, I still just wasn't done with one little tiny 60-pound lamb, and I was soaking wet from head to toe.
All right, as the boys get our pens filled for our first heat of intermediates, our intermediates are going to be sheared in 3 sheep. Our beginners shear 1, our intermediates in this first round are going to be shearing 3 sheep back to back. So they're going to have to turn those sheep out the portal themselves, go to the pen and catch sheep number 2. They do have somebody in that pen to help make sure those sheep are facing the right direction when they do go in and catch them. But that person in the pen isn't allowed to help them turn that sheep. Just hold the sheep at the door and make sure it's there at the door and ready for them. And then that shearer then goes ahead and brings those sheep out to the board, shears them and puts them out the portal themselves on all 3 heads.
And they can't have it down on their hips already. Those sheep have to be up on their feet. We don't let them, per se, cheat. You got to be ready to go, holds them in the corner, you're going to walk in, grab that sheep, and then set them up on the right hip. If you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you're pretty well screwed because that machine doesn't run the right way. When you're right-handed, there's 2 teeth on there we really play with on the comb and cutter, on the comb. We have a top tooth, which is really bent, and we have a bottom tooth. That bottom tooth needs to ride right on the skin. And it's interesting to keep that thing at just a perfect angle to run that bottom tooth. They're rounded a little bit, but you have to push on it and keep it down. If you don't keep the bottom tooth down, it rides up into the wool, and then it bends the wool over and you can't cut. It stops. So you have to keep that bottom tooth down.
We see Chad up there making some changes on our gear. These shearers can choose to shear with a drop or shear with a flex, whatever they'd like, and so we'll go ahead and accommodate that. The contest provides the motors, they provide the drops. The shearers bring their own handpiece and tools. We ready, Chad? Bring the shearers up. All right, and for our first intermediate heat on stand number 1 from Laverne, Minnesota, give it up for Terza Gunther. All right, coming at you on stand number 2, Eugene, Oregon, Anna O'Malley. On stand number 3, from Lebanon, Oregon, Mr. Manuel Santana. And on stand number 4, all the way from Randolph Center, Vermont, Mary Lake.
Can I get the 4 beginner shearers that sheared in the second heat to come out back and help? They're going to hold the short sheep so that the judges can score them. So the 4 shearers, the 4 beginners, please.
And I want to make sure that all the shearers that are on the board right now, as soon as you're done shearing, please go to the out pen so that you can hold those sheep for the next round of shearing. So any shearers that are on the board will go to the out pen and be behind that portal ready to hold sheep for the judges on the next round. All right, stand 2, Anna O'Malley. Is Anna O'Malley here? Anna, where are you? We got your sheep ready for you. Oh, Anna did not check in. Looks like maybe Anna has scratched today. She saw the weather forecast. She didn't want to come shear competition sheep in 88-degree weather.
Smart.
Yours truly is like home with me. So John here. John, raise your hand. I taught John, or helped teach John. How many years ago, John? Yeah, exactly. John has a propensity to text me about 3:30 in the morning. I hear my phone go off, and I'm retired. I've been retired about 12 and a half, almost 13 years. And I'll hear my phone out in the living room go off, and my thing is, oh crap, something happened with the family. No, it's just John. John's up early. He's going to get married. I didn't recognize you with the beard. And I understand your son is here to shear? Cool. Good to hear that. I actually taught his daughter. She took the first clothes probably 20 years ago, almost. And how old is she now? He has to think.
All right, well, he thinks of that. We got a round of shearers that are ready to go.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. Shearers ready? Judges ready? Timers ready? Crowd ready? All right. On your mark, get set, go. Into that pin, set those sheep up on their right hip. Remember, they're doing free. These are intermediates. They probably, their best days are probably somewhere around 100 head. And trust me, to get to 100 head, you got to really work. My best day, 125. I could not get around 125 head. Some of your professional shearers are pumping out 250 to 300 head day after day after day. Into that first hip, man. Or first into the underbody. Now they're going to step up, take out the neck. That neck flow is done totally in the blind. You have to, that's a feel thing. Up and around the back side of the head. Into that first shoulder. And Manny's going to grab that left front leg. And now into the short blows. First blow past the shoulder, he'll step over. There you go, Manny. Into those long blows. Remember, there's 3 or 4 long blows. We want to get one blow on the other side of the backbone so that we're not shearing way back around ourselves going out that last side. Manny's going out last shoulder. Down here, number 1, we have a little bit of a fight. That's all right. We'll get through this. Manny going out that last hip. And Mac, who's the lady on the
Terza Gunther.
Terza Gunther going into those long blows? Manny's going out that last hip. He's got number 1 done. Whoop, whoop. We've got a little bit of wool left on that one. That's why we make sure we go past the backbone, because imagine this, it's almost like a V and you can't see the back side. Manny's going in for number 2. So if you look at the shears, most of them have on a special pants. Those pants are tailored, they're just made for shears. Terza flop that head out to make that view a little more comfortable. And most of us are going to be wearing a set of shearing moccasins. The moccasins do a couple of things for us to get us right down on the ground, okay? If you're shearing in shoes, you're up 3/4 to an inch high because of the sole, and you're out on your sides of your feet a lot. So if you guys will take your feet, put them on the floor, and just roll your ankles out, that puts a lot of pressure from the outside of your foot to your ankle. We're trying to lessen the amount of tear and wear and tear on the shear, and we need to be able to, see if I can do this, legs about shoulder length apart and be able to bend over and put our hands flat on the floor. If you can do that, you can shear. That's why somebody that's very long-waisted is a lot better or a lot easier for them to shear. Manny going out those last blows.
Terza Gunther and Mary Lake both have sheep number 2 on the board. neck and neck, both in that second hit. Terza goes to the head first and comes up to break that neck open. Mary's right behind her. Manuel's coming up on the money side of that sheet, working into his second shoulder and down the second side.
Funny, Mac, that's exactly what I call it. I call that the money side, going down and getting out of it.
That's right. You're halfway done, over halfway done there. You're about ready to click the counter on the next one. That sheet's giving him a little trouble. That's what makes this exciting. A few kicks and the next year can catch right back up to you.
When Mike McWilliam and Randy Helms were sharing, Doug, now I forgot your last name, I'm getting old.
Doug
Rafty, sorry. When they'd be up there sharing, one would get a little farther ahead on the points, what we call the hard points into the shoulders, and then the big strong ones would get ahead on the long blows and stuff. It was fun to watch that thing go back and forth.
Well, watch Manuel on this third sheet. He pulled the fever out of the pen here.
And into that undermine. Start at the tail, go up that tail of the backbone, stand up, take out that neck, up that neck, break it open. We need to have that broke open. Into that first shoulder. Notice Manny working this sheep around so that it will be faced toward the shearing machine and lays them down for those short blows and into the long blows. Manny's now into those 4 long blows. Terza is going out the last stripe on number 2. And now back in for number 3.
Going into the pen for sheep number 3. She pulls her last sheep out. Manuel Santana heads into the last shoulder on his third sheep. And Terza puts her second sheep in down the portal. She goes to the pen for sheep number 3. It's a horse race here. It's anybody's game.
Manny's going out the last side, shearing very clean. Put your hands together. Manny's got 2 blows. Let's see him get through this. Oh, of course. And done. Nice job, Manny. At shearing school this year, we use our feet a lot to hold the sheep. If you keep your shoulder off the floor with just the tip of your toe, literally we lift that tip of your toe in the long blows to hold them there. I can take a shoe, set it under the sheep, just like that, walk away from the sheep, and the sheep will stay there. And they stay there because that shoulder is up off the ground. So we've been taught how to move that sheep around to keep it as comfortable as possible and as docile as possible. Terza on stand 1 going up the neck. It looks like now they're just blow for blow. What'd you say, Mac?
Please remember, shearers, please stay on the board to help me out 10 on the next heat, please.
Yep. And we do that, it's kind of a respect thing too. We won't leave the board until the other shearers are done. We know how hard this job is.
All right, Terza and Mary doing a great job.
Mary's going out that last side. Terza start to turn, going out that last side.
They didn't finish first, but they're still in the hunt. Remember, it's not just time that determines the winner here. It's time, it's board points, it's pen points out the back. Quality of the shearing job plus time determines the winner. So just because you were the first shearer with all your sheep done doesn't automatically put you in the winner's circle.
Mary's going out that last side. Very nice and clean.
Got it. Beautiful.
Yeah, nice job. Now Terza, she's going out. She's got maybe 3 blows left. Sometimes you got to pick the skin up. Sometimes you got to push it down. Boom, down. Nice job.
All right, counters back to the clerk's table, please. Shearers, please remain on the board to help in the next heat.
And I'd like to introduce the gentleman here. This is Mike Cora. Mike Cora, 3Q Shearing Services, Shearing Clinics. He puts on clinics all over the United States and other parts of the world too. I've been to Mike's school now twice. Puts on a really big deal, and his big deal is we're trying to take the weight off the shears, because we move a lot of weight with him. So trying to keep that sheep out on itself, so that sheep isn't on you, it's on itself. And thanks to Mike, my shearing has got a lot easier.
And Mike's not just from down the road. Mike came to us from Australia to help us out here at the 2025 National Shearing Championships. Thank you, Mike.
Ian McKenzie. Ian is from New Zealand. Where are you, Ian? He's around someplace. About back, maybe?
No, I should probably check.
There he is.
I'm in the open somewhere. I know I'm on the
And thanks for all. Remember, this is kind of a homegrown event, so thank you to all the people that have come out to help here today, both with the scorers and the judges. We got wool help out back. If you want to see somebody throw a fleece, lady out back there, that table that they got that fleece on is called the skirting table. That is thrown, that shorn side of that fleece gets thrown. The short side down, so any of those small second putts will drop through the side of the table so that they don't go in the main clip. Years ago, when I first started, they would take that fleece, ball it up, and tie it with a piece of paper twine. How many of you remember that? Yeah, a few of you.
All right, I think we got our pens loaded. We're ready for heat number 2 in our intermediates. On stand 1, Henry Shear, give it up. All right, Henry, I didn't get your hometown, but we'll get that later. On stand number 2, from Turner, Oregon, Blake Thompson. And on stand number 3, from Williams, Oregon, Jordan Reed. On stand number 4, our last year in the second heat intermediates, John Betch.
Jordan. Good to see you, Jordan. I've had the privilege to help Jordan through his journey too. Many years ago, what is that? 15 years ago, Jordan? Yeah.
I like that Jordan.
All right, as the shearers get their hand pieces on, getting ready, taking a look at their sheep, they're going to figure out what order they want these sheep in. The guy that's going to help them out, making sure that those sheep come out in the order that the shearer.
Do I have the intermediates back up to help in the pens and out back?
Those last Terza, Manuel and Mary, please come on up and give a hand in those out pens.
No,
thank you, man.
I mean, you'll know when you're done because there won't be any.
I think it's pretty neat that we're being live streamed on Facebook. I want to put a ploy out for that. I'm going to find time today to let my daughter know that she knows I'm here, but I haven't been on camera that much. Last time I think I was on camera was at the U.S. Championships at the California State Fair.
Yeah, in the out pen, please, Manuel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have somebody to hold sheep in Jordan's pen. Oh, here we go.
All right, Michael Estes coming to the rescue.
Thanks, Michael. Okay, why don't we like to shear with rubber-soled shoes? You got an idea? If you're on that board, you can already see that there's a brown spot on that board. That's the natural oil in that sheep, lanolin. That lanolin is just like pouring a quart of 30 weight on there, and if you've got rubber-soled shoes, it's like ice skating.
All right. Looks like our shearers are ready to go, Gary.
Want to go ahead and introduce them?
We already did that. We brought them
sorry.
up. Go ahead.
All right. We ready? Remember, this is heat 2 of the intermediates. We have eight intermediate shearers. Okay. Timers ready? Board judges ready. Shearers ready. On your mark. Get set. Go. In that can again, they're going to be doing 3 sheep. You're going to set them up on that right hip. Down on the end, my friend John Beach, Jordan Reed. Take that belly wool off. Throw that belly out of the main clip. If you don't throw that belly out of the main clip, that's 1 point against you. Remember, it's all about shearing clean. Jordan Reed into the undermine. Henry's over on stand 1, Blade on stand 2, Jordan Reed stand 3, John Beach stand 4. Put your hand together for him. Jordan Reed going up that first short blows. Blade into those 4 long blows. Remember, at least 1 blade width over the backbone. That helps us so that when we lay him down going out that last side, we're not shearing way back around our right leg. Jordan Reed stepped up. Going out that last side, last shoulder. Shoulders are a harder point. Imagine that you can't stretch them out as much. Got to have your feet in the right spot. Going out that last shoulder. Blade's got number 1 done. Throw that wool out of the way.
Let's give him a hand and
Blade's in for number 2.
As he goes to the finish.
Jordan Reed going out that last side. John Beach going out that last side, flop her head up. Henry going out that last shoulder. And last side, the blows on the last side normally go down at a 45-degree angle. So if you see sheep out in the field and their right side has stripes at a 45-degree angle, you know that that was a right-handed shearer. If they're on the other side at 45, you know it was a left-handed shearer. Henry's got number 1 or 2 done. And he's going in for number 2. Jordan Reed's got number 2. Blade's got number 2 into that first shoulder. John Beach into the belly on number 2.
Blade turns to the long blow. That's sheep number 2.
Jordan Reed into that first hip. And into what we call the undermine. Good blows into the undermine. Steps up. You're actually squeezing that animal between its brisket and its backbone. We like to feel that backbone over on the left leg, right ahead of our calf, or right behind our calf, I should say. Jordan Reed up around the backside of the head. John Beach into the undermine on number 2. Henry into the undermine on number 2. Blade going out that last side. And you can see that sometimes things just don't work out perfectly. We're going to have to reposition. Blade flopped his head up to make him more comfortable. John Beach going into up the neck, into that first shoulder on number 2.
Blade going in for sheep number 3. Last sheep that he pulls out of the pen. And he's going to turn on sheep number 3 here.
Henry's going up that first shoulder on sheet number 2. Jordan Reed going out. Last shoulder on sheet number 2. Remember, it's about cleanliness. You have to shear clean to be able to get into the next heat. Now I said that sheep do not like to have their feet caught, but you can see Jordan's got that thing by the hoof right down. They don't mind that so much. Jordan's going out that last blow, and of course they don't cooperate as much as they'd like to. And Jordan Reed going out for number 3. Put your hands together for these guys. John Beach going out the last side, last hip on number 2. Jordan's got number 3 out. Set him up on the right hip. Put that.
Henry Shearing on the last hip on his 3rd sheep.
Henry's going out the last one. Nice job, Henry. Henry told me that I taught him back in 2011. Yeah. Number 2, there it goes. Number 3. Jordan Reed. That sheep. Blade going out that last side on number 3. John Beach. Belly at number 3. Henry's in the belly. Blade going out that last 2 or 3 blows on that last hip. Jordan Reed into the long blows. Okay, Blade's done. Time for him. And now the shearers know that they just got to shear cleanly to get past Blade for time. Remember, it's only 1 point for 20 seconds. But it's hard to put that through your brain to go slow down and shear clean. Jordan Reed going out that last side. Nice job, Jordan. Jordan got 1 blow left. There we go.
Yeah, Jordan!
Right off. There's time. Henry going out that last shoulder. John Beach stepped up, take out the neck. Henry's going out that last side, into that last hip. You will grab, notice how he'll grab that belly skin and just twist and push. Henry going on. And that's time. Nice job, Henry. And now we're going to turn our attention to John Beach. John Beach into that last shoulder. And he'll slowly lift up that first shoulder. Notice where he's got his hand. It's not down on the foot. Sheep do not like that. So way up on the forearm. And he'll slowly turn that animal around. And of course it doesn't comply. Into them short blows. Notice where John's left foot is. Way up underneath the shoulder. And it's the hardest thing to teach people to do this. To get themselves where you're pointing toe to toe. Nice clean shear, John. Yep, they'll talk to you a little bit saying, hey, would you hurry up? Now John's in that last shoulder, right front shoulder. And now down. And into, like Mac and I say, into the money cup. 2 or 3 blows, and then 1 blow out that hind leg, that hind quarter. John flipped her head up to make her more comfortable. Out that last hip.
That's right, bring it home here. He's on the final hip. Just another blow or 2 left to go.
Nice job.
All right. Gary, that's the end of our intermediate rounds. Our opens will be next, but we're going to take a short break. Let our volunteers take a little break, get some water. make sure everybody knows that Rolling Thunder Barbecue Food Truck is right over here on the outside of the barn. Go ahead and hit those guys up for some great barbecue. We're going to start back up here at the opens at 12:30, so we got a little bit of time. Take a break, get some food. Hey Charlie, how you doing?